Welcome to this episode. In this episode, we talk about bankruptcy. Is bankruptcy the end of the game? Are there lights at the end of the tunnel? Great men and women like Walt Disney, Elton John, Ray Dempsey, Abraham Lincoln, they were once bankrupt before. But today, they are owners of multi-billion companies. Let's stay tuned. In this episode, I'll take you through what are the bankruptcy numbers in Malaysia. As of 2016, the total bankruptcy proceeding cases is about 19,588. As of 2019, the total bankruptcy reported is 12,051 cases. As you can see, there's a reducing trend of bankruptcy cases in Malaysia. However, you'll be asking me this question, with the pandemic cases and the COVID cases that's impacting the nation, especially in Malaysia, what will be the numbers look like? Now, we were very thankful to the Malaysian government because Malaysian government has issued a temporary measure for reducing the impact of coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19 Act 2020 that raises the minimum debt threshold from the presentation of a bankruptcy petition from 50,000 to 100,000. So therefore, there is a decreasing trend of bankruptcy numbers in Malaysia. Is this a good news or is this a bad news? What is bankruptcy and who is declared a bankrupt? Let me take you through what is the Bankruptcy Act in Malaysia. The bankruptcy law in Malaysia is made up by Bankruptcy Act 1967 and the Bankruptcy Amendment Act 2020. Bankrupt is a legal status of a person or organization unable to pay the debts owed to creditors. The court of law makes such a declaration. If you're unable to pay the debt to the creditors, you're called insolvent. Insolvency does not mean that you are bankrupt. Only the court of law of Malaysia can declare a person bankrupt. Now, how do you define a person bankrupt? As we shared earlier, those who owe more than 100,000 is considered a case for bankruptcy proceedings. In 2016, the personal loan remains the number one reason why the bankruptcy is happening right now. 31% in 2016 cases are with the reasons of personal loan. Now let's look at the latest data as of 2021. 54% of the bankruptcy cases right now is because of personal loan. Who are the major age group that is being bankrupt at this point of time? As of the first few months of 2021, the amounting numbers of bankruptcies between 35 to 44 years old is 1,186 and 45 to 54 is 752, which means the majority of being bankrupt as of latest 2021 is between 35 to 54 years old. And the main reason, 54% of the main reason is because of personal loan. What happens if you are declared bankrupt? The DGI, which is Director General of Insolvency, will begin to supervise the liquidation of all the assets that you have. Now, with the liquidation they have for all your assets, it will be sold, and then with the proceeds, it will be distributed among the creditors. What are the things they cannot sell? One of the things they cannot sell would be the property that you hold in trust for others. And the second thing is the items that help you to make a living. For example, the instrument of trade, garments, bedding, and other necessities for you and your family needs. Total value not exceeding 5,000. So these are the two things they cannot sell. Now on top of that, you are able to carry a credit card not exceeding 1,000 credit limit. What about bank account? Yes, you can have your bank account, whether it's an old account or all of them frozen, have a new account. Whether A or B account, you need to have the permission from the DGI. The next thing is, you're not allowed to travel. So these are some of the status when you are declared bankrupt. Can you be unknowingly declared bankrupt? The answer is yes. Now, in what occasion will you be declared bankrupt? There's a possibility because you are a guarantor to a friend, a relative, or brothers, sisters, that because they default on their payment, so therefore the debt is being carried onto your shoulder. So therefore, being a guarantor is highly not recommended to be one. The reason is because whatever the person cannot pay, the debt goes to you. So they will serve a notice through a delivery by hand. If they can't do so, they will advertise in a newspaper. Now, delivery by hand is difficult because sometimes you change your address and they can't find you. And even though if they do advertise in newspaper, you're not able to see it. So will you be unknowingly declared bankrupt? The answer is yes. So how do you check that? One of the ways is to pay 12 ringgit Malaysia and to check on your CTOS and also CCRIS to find out whether you are bankrupt or not a bankrupt. CTOS score is a 3-digit number that represents your credit worthiness. It is an evaluation of an individual credit history and the capability to repay financial obligations. The higher the score, the higher your chances of securing a loan. CCRIS is basically a centralized database which offers a picture of your financial health. Bank Negara Malaysia is provided with monthly updates by relevant institutions to compile the necessary information such as banks, insurance providers, development financial institutions, payment instrument issuers, credit leasing companies, government agency, private utility companies. Is bankruptcy the end of life? Is there hope at the end of the tunnel? Will there be light that shines us forth and take us out of this situation? The answer is yes. Bankruptcy is not end of the game. There is opportunity to pick up again. Now, how can you get yourself discharged from this bankruptcy? First is by annulment. The second is by discharge. Now, what does annulment mean? It means your bankruptcy records are expounded after paying off all the debts in full, which means you pay off everything and then you are actually released from being bankruptcy. Now, the other situation is you are discharged. What does it mean by discharge? Discharge means you are no longer bankrupt after negotiation with creditors on repayments. However, your records remain in CCRIS, CTOS, and other credit ratings agency. This particular video is not to dampen your spirit, but this set of videos is to encourage to say bankruptcy is not end of the day. Bankruptcy is just a part of the journey. Let's journey forward to a new change, a new you.